word. Activision Blizzard. You just couldn't keep it in your pants anymore, could you? You had to pull this kind of shit that other gaming companies had the goal to do. You even make me look like a fool when I said this in my last rant video. At least Activision is not as bad as EA. Turns out they're just as bad as EA, if not equally worse. How is that possible? You have risen up the ranks of pro scum fuckery when it comes to how you treat your employees. Oh look, you're in the Masters ranking right now. Don't you know that you're toxic? So then, to put it bluntly, Activision Blizzard did something stupid. Yet again. The last time they tried to get away with this bullshit was way back in 2019. There was a Grandmasters Hearthstone tournament held on Twitch, and one of the pro players, Blitzchung, won one of the matches. He had this to say during the interview. And then Activision Blizzard yeeted his ass out faster than the Hyperloop, suspended him for a whole year, forced him to forfeit thousands of dollars in prize money, fired the casters who conducted the interview, and then went on Twitter to pledge their allegiance to China. That's so Blizzard! Ever since that day, many have begun boycotting Blizzard by threatening to quit playing their games. Efforts have been made to get themselves banned from Battle.net, including me, funny enough. And of course, thousands of memes were born, and graced by the community. I was at EGX that same year when I bought this Chinese communist keyring because of the whole controversy that was spiraling around during that time. You can check out a little tidbit in this video up here before you come back to this video. So, then after that, when BlizzCon made its rounds that same year, there have been protests outside the event, while meanwhile, inside the main event, the almighty J. Allen Brack stoically masked off the stage by saying,
"And we're sorry that we screwed up, and we will never do it again. We promise."
Anyway, here's Overwatch 2! Get hyped, fuckers! This apology went down really well with the community. And thus segues what we're going to talk about today. Activision Blizzard has been sued by the state of California over unequal pay and other civil rights after a 2-year investigation into the company's work conditions, with over 10 causes of actions leveled against them. That's like more causes than just causes. I've taken the time to read the entire lawsuit and the factual allegations that were printed inside. It's enough to make me want to puke, I swear to God. I will try my hardest to summarize the entire lawsuit in detail so you don't have to suffer reading through it. Because let me tell you, it's like reading through Metamorphosis. Except it's non-fictional. Trigger warning! This ain't gonna be pretty. So let's start this whole thing off with how the company indiscriminately treats women in a negative way. It states that the workforce is made up of 20% women and 80% men, with the top leadership comprising of white men. Robert Kotick earned $154 million in the last year alone compared to other officers. If a woman did occupy the same CEO role that Bobby Kotick has, they would be earning less pay, salary, and compensation. It's not just the CEO position this applies to, but this also applies to other roles as well. When a woman has been hired into the workforce, they start off receiving lower pay than men. They also had less stock and incentive pay opportunities, while being assigned into lower grades without payment. This just sounds like fucking low-level volunteering at this point. Women had to please the hierarchy by working longer hours in order to receive equal pay as men, who work less hours. Here's an enlightening example. A female employee working for Blizzard Entertainment was assigned to a lower level role, denied equal pay, and subsequently sought a promotion because she had been carrying out duties exceeding her job description. Huge props to her, by the way. She was repeatedly told, nah, it's not your turn yet, missy. It's Timmy's turn on the slide. Ultimately, the employee was promoted after 3 years, while her male counterpart was promoted within a year of his hire, despite having started several months after her. So he gets the best Christmas presents he could possibly have, while she gets the lumpy sacks of coal. But wait, it gets better. Another female employee was assigned at a lower level, denied equal pay, and was denied promotion. But she got high performance reviews, generated more money for the company, and ran twice as many campaigns than her male counterpart. And what was her reward? Absolutely jack shit. All of the awards were passed over to her male counterpart. Fucking favoritism at its finest. These women had to stand by and watch them get picked over women like they're being groomed to become the perfect teacher's pet. So, as you would already gather, female employees were passed over in favor of their male counterparts, who lacked experience and qualifications that females had. In some cases, male employees would refuse to engage with the females and go to their own kind for information instead. As it reads here, a newly promoted male supervisor delegated his responsibilities to his now female subordinates in favor of playing Call of Duty. Getting no-scope kills is more important than fixing World of Warcraft raids. Okay. This is where it gets heavy. I almost cried during this section. No joke. This one involves the company treating pregnant female employees more negatively. A female employee working on one game team had assumed some of the responsibilities of a manager, but when she asked her male supervisor about being fairly paid for the work she was actually doing and promoted into that position, the manager commented that they could not risk promoting her as she might get pregnant and like being a mom too much. Despite the fact that you have many employees roaming around cubicles, making sexual advances, groping women in the workplace, and talking to others about their rapey sexual encounters. Oh, don't worry, we're gonna get to that in a fucking hot minute. Pregnant women got negative evaluations during maternity leave and were criticized for leaving to pick up their children from daycare while men played video games. Female employees were kicked out of lactation rooms so that other employees could use the rooms for meetings. They're just trying to raise their fucking kids. Give them the support that they need instead of shutting them out like that. It's not like you're afraid of losing money if you pay them more equally. The company is rich as fuck. This sounds like pure ignorance, plain and simple. And it makes the company out like they're still stuck in this 50s or 60s mind frame on how to treat women and black people. Did I say black people? Oh yes, we're fucking going there. An African-American employee noted that it took her 2 years to be made a permanent employee, while men hired after her were made permanent employees. She also was micromanaged such that her male co-workers were known to be playing video games without any intervention. She would be called and checked on to see if she took a break to go on a walk. Another African-American employee was micromanaged by her manager, unlike the men on her team. When she tried requesting time off of work, her manager made her write a one-page summary of how she would spend her time off when no one else did such write-ups. This is like that one time Bethesda forced players to write a 500-word essay on why third-party cheat software is bad. It's fucking unnecessary. The male supervisor also criticized her body language, despite men slouching in meetings, and she was scolded for asking for help while others didn't. So naturally, with all of this transpiring, women came forward with as many complaints as they possibly can. It's enough to fill a fucking warehouse with this shit. When they approached human resource personnel about the complaints fell on deaf ears and were just hand-waved away like it's not a real fucking company issue. Their complaints weren't even kept confidential either. Women received retaliation that involved involuntary transfers, being laid off at their jobs, and being denied more projects and opportunities. They were also subjected to comments that women who are not real gamers are labeled as outsiders. Unsurprisingly, all of this forced women to leave the fucking company. Now then, let's move on to how the company condones sexual harassment and retaliation within the workplace. You aren't ready for some juicy details right here. You thought Riot Games and Ubisoft were bad when it comes to sexual allegations? This is just the pinnacle of it all. Female employees noted that working at Blizzard is akin to working in the movie The Wolf of Wall Street, a giant fucking frat house. Everyone getting drunk, taking drugs, they proudly come to work hungover. I like how they phrased that in the document. Play video games during work, talk about their sexual encounters, talk openly about women parts, even in front of women too, and joke about rape. Women were subjected to sexual comments and advances, groping, physical touching, and other forms of harassment. Female employees on the WoW team noted that male employees would hit on them, make comments about rape, and engage in demeaning behavior, which were clearly condoned and encouraged by their male supervisors. This is absolutely disgusting that they think they could get away with this, with no fucking self-awareness at all. This next part is rich, listen to this. Including a male supervisor openly encouraged a male subordinate to buy a prostitute to cure his bad mood. This dude sounds like an isekai antagonist. This is where our hard-earned money is going towards. Nobody wants to think about the children in this company anymore. We need to cure this guy's depression so fucking badly. Not the women who suffered from unequal pay and bad work conditions. Double standards is overrated. Here's a special person to take note of. Former creative director of WoW, Alex Afrasiabi. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Once was a leader of the Fires of Heaven and EverQuest Guild, an e-celebrity in the making that was known for providing commentary and feedback within the community. Was also known to have his own private suite nicknamed the Crosby Suite. Now that's a big Alex engaged in sexual harassment with no repercussions whatsoever. During BlizzCon, he would hit on female employees, wanting to marry them, kiss them, and even go far as to put his arms around them. Apparently, this is way too far even for other male employees that they had to intervene and pull him off before things got too out of hand. Alex, in one case, grabbed a female employee's hand and invited her to his hotel room, and in another case, groped another woman. When push comes to shove, he was called over by Alan Bragg where they had multiple conversations about his drinking habits and being too friendly towards female employees at company events. So, how did he tame the foul beast?
Now don't do it again, silly Billy!
Guess what happened next? I hope you're ready for this next bit, because it gets dark really fast. In one tragic example, a female employee committed suicide while on a company trip due to a sexual relationship that she had been having with her male supervisor. The male supervisor was found by police to have brought a butt plug and lubricant on this business trip. On a holiday party before her death, male co-workers were alleged to be passing around a picture of the deceased vagina. I can't do this. I just can't even begin to even process with what I just read right now. The same company that revived Crash Bandicoot and Spyro, brought to life many games, and continued supporting them even after their releases. It's the same company rampant with sexism, suicide, and discrimination. All of this just makes it even harder for me to be more involved in the gaming medium. Being a gamer right now is such a double-edged sword. All I want to do is just enjoy playing video games, not having to worry about whether the people that crafted these games are sex offenders, child predators, or rapists. We buy games so that we can support the developers who took so much time to make these worlds a reality for us to play through. Yet also knowing that the same money goes to the companies that continue to fuel these toxic environments. We really need a gaming unionization right now, more than ever. Gamers have risen up before, and they will continue to rise up because our voices are always the loudest. Honestly, this is really painful for me because I have two friends who are World of Warcraft veterans that recommended this game to me. And it was the first MMORPG I've ever played. It was thanks to World of Warcraft that got me to reconnect with my best friend again during such harsh times of the pandemic, and has allowed me to be more open in streaming and make even more friends than ever. Unsurprisingly, I'm not going to support Activision Blizzard anymore. There, another company to add to my checklist. I am also going to be uninstalling World of Warcraft and moving on to Final Fantasy XIV, which I heard is a much more superior game compared to WoW. You know what? You can keep your Crash Bandicoot. You can keep your Spyro the Dragon for all I care. It's not about my childhood anymore. It's about my ethical morals and my savings. You can try and damage the controllers all you fucking want with your apologies and your half-hearted sentiments. But the damage has already been done. Live with your mistakes, and fuck you, Activision Blizzard. Take care, guys. I'm gonna sell these bad boys off for good.